prosecutors are now accusing Sean Diddy Combs of continuing efforts to obstruct the federal investigation into his sex trafficking case and trying to taint the jury pool from his jail cell. In a court filing, prosecutors say the music mogul had been trying to evade government monitoring by using the telephone accounts of at least 8 other inmates. Prosecutors also argue that Combs should not be entitled to another bail hearing after he sought to contact potential witnesses, including accusers, with the goal of blackmailing them to keep quiet or help his defense. Joining me now is defense attorney Misty Marris. Thank you so much, Misty, for coming in this morning. These allegations are really serious, trying to blackmail people from jail. He's talking to, according to prosecutors, potential witnesses. How will this be handled by the court? And is it something that gets addressed swiftly, since, you know, the witnesses, if they are sort of being threatened, would need some assistance here?
Yeah, absolutely, Sarah. So the immediate consequence is, what will this impact be on his upcoming petition for bail? So, Sarah, to your point, all jailhouse calls are recorded. And so presumably prosecutors have some electronic audio evidence that this actually occurred. So what could happen to Diddy while he's behind bars right now in order to avoid this type of conduct going forward? He may have limitations on who he can actually communicate with while he's there. He may have additional monitoring to ensure that he cannot engage in this conduct, specifically taking the numbers of other individuals or improperly contacting witnesses. Now, that's all about what could happen to him while he remains behind bars. It is of incredible detriment to his bail proceeding to say that he's engaging in this conduct while he's already under the thumb of the corrections. Now he wants to be out, even with 24-hour monitoring. It really, really is something that's going to impact his arguments moving forward and make it very unlikely for him to be successful.
If the judge agrees to what prosecutors are saying and sees evidence of that, can Sean Diddy Combs face new charges, or what would happen because of these new allegations?
So absolutely. So first, we're talking about the bail hearing. It obviously is going to have an impact on that, because this was one of the issues that came up in the prior bail hearings, the concern that he would try and reach out to witnesses and try and intimidate witnesses or otherwise improperly communicate with them. But there's other issues that could come up directly relating to this as well. First, we know a grand jury has already reconvened. That could result in what's called a superseding indictment, adding new charges. Well, if there's enough evidence of this conduct, prosecutors could add witness tampering. They could add obstruction of justice. And Sarah, it doesn't stop there. Not only could it add new charges, these are the types of things, these recorded jailhouse calls. It could actually come into the courtroom during trial as indicia of guilt. It could be, well, why is he trying to tell witnesses what to say unless he believes they're going to say something to his detriment? So there's a lot of different ways this conduct, if true, could impact his case moving forward.
I do want to ask you about the witnesses who prosecutors say are being threatened, or he's trying to blackmail, according to them. What for them are there protections when this happens? You know, the trial is not happening right now. They are potential witnesses. What happens with them?
Well, so they could obviously report the conduct to prosecutors who can take certain action to protect them, or to the extent that some of these communications are coming third hand, because Sarah, some of the allegations that the prosecutors have raised is that Diddy would actually communicate with someone who's authorized to communicate with a friend, a family member, and they would third party in another individual on the call. That's not permitted behind bars. And so that means he's interacting with individuals who he's not supposed to be, and evading the ways that the jail has in order to document and ensure that all of that information is being monitored, right? So what they could do is, it could be no contact orders. There could be all sorts of different repercussions. A judge could step in and intervene to the extent that it's not just Diddy who's engaged in those communications. It goes a bit beyond that.
It's interesting. It could bring in other people who are involved in trying to sort of go around the rules and the laws of the system. Misty Marris, it is always a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming up and talking to us through this. I appreciate it. John?